we mark this. So when you go back to the line of end of ancient Israel, so this is the end. So this is the end of modern Israel, right? So when you go back to the end of ancient Israel, you have we mark what is this? So this is for BC. We mark baptism, 27 AD. This is 34. And this is, we are familiar with this big structure. And then when you come to the fractal of that, you have, what you have is that you have 4 BC. This is the first group that is called the disciples. So you have 4 BC, and then you have 27, and you have 2021, and 2019. The middle way mark, which is we mark as the standard law, we say this is 2014. So actually we was they wanted to condense these reform lines in a way that best, I don't know, I will say to best suit what they wanted to see in what actually they were actually saying. But it was in contrast to what actually the midnight cry message was actually doing, or it was actually being laid out. So this was to what they would do. They would say, okay, so if we say these are actually the fractals, so that means when you get to when you get to when you look at the way we have laid out this structure, it's like we are going to take everything and then we are just going to overlay it over on top of one another, right? Like you would have 2019, where would, if we were to take this reform line as an exact factor, where would we be forced to be putting 2019 based on the understanding that people had, or what people they were actually saying as these fractals being exact fractals? It's a question. Wait, question?
Hi, Thato.
Give me 5 minutes. Just a minute. Hi. Nikki. can please mute and unmute and then answer. Yeah, sorry about that. The children. So, just without waste any time, like 2019 would be placed on 2009 because of when you stretch it out, this is the first group called, which is the priest. So this is 2009, the increase of knowledge. And this is 2012, right?
Hello,
This is
Thato.
2012, and this is. Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, whilst you're still on that line, is
Okay.
it the one that you were saying, the line of the end of ancient Israel? Is it that?
No, this is the line of ancient Israel and modern Israel. They are combined. You have 4 BC. I don't have a different color. So this is 4 BC. This is 1989. So this is the first group called, be it the line of ancient Israel or the end of modern Israel. So I just combined and the end of ancient Israel and modern Israel in this big line because
Okay.
they are way marks.
Okay, no problem. No, I had seen that you were combining it, the one like the last one that you are drawing there. So see, when you started, I thought you were going to finish with the end of Israel. So it's okay. Maybe I'll get what you're trying to bring across afterwards. It's okay. You can continue.
Oh, okay. So this is the line of the priest, right? If the incorrect way that people were actually that caused that even had an effect on the shaking that actually happened was that people were doing this mistake that which I'm actually elaborating here. This is what they were saying about a fractal when they were speaking about the first group that is called. This is what was actually believed. This is the wrong way of what actually they were believing, you see. So when you look at, we speak about end of modern Israel. We have 1989, 2001, Sunday law, and the close of probation in the second advent, right? In every dispensation, we mark that there are two key waymarks. You have the increase of knowledge, the formalization, and then the test. Same thing applies to the second dispensation. Same thing applies to the third dispensation. So when you look at the second dispensation in the big line, we mark the increase of knowledge as 2019, and we mark that as the cross. That's why now we understand why we mark it as the cross. I'm not going to be elaborating much on that, but we mark 2019 as the cross, right? We mark 2021 as what? As Pentecost, you see? So what people did was that they were saying this is an exact fractal, not a Quincy fractal. Like it is not an exact fractal. What we began with, I began with explaining what we actually fractalizing. What we are fractalizing is the structure, the repeating pattern, and the experience, like of when we speak about experience, latter and the harvest. You see that. So what people did that is wrong is this. They wanted to take, they would say, if then this is an exact fractal, that means then when you go to the first group that is called, you are going to see what? You are going to see the time of the end, 1989, that's fine. And then you are going to see 2001, right? This is the line of the priest. And we have 2014 as what? As the Sunday law, right? And we mark 2019 as the close of probation and 2021 as the second advent. So the increase of knowledge in the second dispensation, it's that, what is it? This is 2009. And what is the formalization? The formalization of the message was time, which was 2012, right? So what they did, it's that when you look at the big line, that means the cross, we can be able to place the cross where? Here at 2009. So they will take the cross and place it where? At 2009, right? So that's what actually was corrected. The reason of this correction was for people to understand what is exactly, when we speak about fractals, what are we exactly fractalizing? You see that? So people will place the cross at where? At 2009. So you can understand then with these other following groups that they also, like when you look at the second group that is called, also they will be having what? They would have the cross being placed where? Remember, this is the second dispensation. This is the second dispensation. This is the second dispensation. So people were just taking things as they are, and they were dropping them as they are. Everything, they would just want to take them as they are and drop them in these smaller groups, in the shadow, right? I made an example last week that one of the things, there was a lady, I remember, she's not the only one, but there were several of them that actually they believed that 2009 it was the close of probation. It was the close of probation, even though it would be explained, but 2019 is just a shadow of what? Of the COP, this COP. It is not the COP. You see that? So it was that literal interpretation of taking things as they are and applying them as they are. You see that? So that's what one of the mistakes that FFA would be doing, and some of the people that left with FFA. So what Elder Tess was correcting as well was, because where were we? 2020. 2020, remember that we mark, we say this is 2019. We mark 2019 as the cross, right? What is the experience of the, what is happening in these two experiences? It's like we have what? We have the wilderness, and we have the, escaping my mind. The wilderness experience. So we have the wilderness experience, and then you have get money. You see that? So, yebo.
2019 angizwanga lapho uthi it was a shadow. What does that mean? Can you explain?
"2019. Remember, this is the incorrect way that people were looking at this the first group that was called. Please, this was the incorrect way, right? So people remember when we were here in 2019, our mindset, right? The mindset we had was that where were we? Take your mind backwards and go back to 2019 and 2020, and imagine the fear we had. Imagine the understanding to take place. What happened to the many people? We bought lands were in countrysides, right? Because of the fear of what is going to happen, the close of probation. You see that. So we mark 2019 as what? As a COP, but is it the Daniel 12:1? Is it the COP of Daniel 12:1? No, it is not. It's 2019. It's just a shadow. And that's what another word can I use for a shadow, but it's not the real thing. The real thing, it's the big line, right? So when we speak about the close of probation, this is the close of probation, but this is not the close of probation. Michael does stand up here. Michael does not stand up here. The probation, it's closed here. Probation, it's still open. That's what we are still even under today. You see that? So this was the incorrect way that we would be understanding when back then in 2019, and how people would be interpreting these lines as fractals. They were taking things as they see them in the big line, and they would be dropping them as they are in the smaller, in these three groups. Does that make sense, Lillian?
Yes.
Yes. So this was incorrect. To take 2019 and say 2019, it's actually 2009. And we placed the cross on 2009. That was the incorrect way people were we're doing this reform, this fractal groups, because of they have misunderstood what we were meaning when we speak about fractals. So when we speak about fractals, I remember last week, we actually, let me just get this, I'm just looking for a picture. So there were names that were given, right? It was exact, self, similar. And then you have equivalency, self-similar. And you will have statistic, self-similar. So what do you have? You have exact, self-similar, coincident, self-similar, statistical, self-similar. So what people were taking, they were taking this one as the one that actually reflects what we talk about when we speak about fractals in these groups. Does that make sense? G, did I still lose you still?
No, you haven't. Actually, yeah, you haven't. I didn't realize at first that you were actually showing that this is the wrong way, because I had picked that there's something wrong with like where it was going. That's why I was asking, but I didn't realize you want to show us that. So
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. Any additions, G?
I don't think I have anything to add. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, G. So, you know, once you understand what was being said here, it's easy then when it goes to the change of leadership, what actually it's been explained about the change of leadership. So yes, I'm just gonna quickly, she's crying and she was supposed to be at her friend. Let me just quickly go and check on her. Can you just